Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be reviewing my 4th round game from the 2025 Midwest Open. If you did not see the last video, I did end up winning my 3rd round game, so at this point I was 2-1 in the tournament. And that's, for me personally, that was good because last year I had only 2 wins, and so that meant I couldn't do worse than last year. So that was keeping me going. That was a positive thing about the tournament at this point. Now, again, as I've stated in many of these reviews, or at least for this tournament, I mean, that the game record or the results weren't the most important to me. It was mainly the quality of the games. And so far, I was generally pleased with how I was playing. Now, the thing with that is, this is a 2-day event, so the first 3 games were on the first day, and so we're back in the morning at like 8:30 a.m., 9 a.m. to play the 4th round. And so who knows, from one day to the next, you could be playing much worse or much better. So yeah, I knew I had to come into this round prepared because I'd be playing with my positive record at this point. I'd be playing quite strong opponents. And with that in mind, my opponent is Tianyuan Zhang, 6th Dan, who I first met at the first Go Congress I went to in 2015. So that was almost a decade ago, 9 years and 6 months or so, which is pretty crazy to think about because at that point he was part of the youth group. He was one of the young kids there, and he was about, I think, 4 Dan, 5 Dan then, and we actually ended up playing. I forget if it must have been it was not the main tournament, but it must have been the, what's it called? The Die Hard tournament, yeah. That's where we first played. And then we played again in the main tournament. I forget if it was the Congress after Boston or the one after Boston. They start to all blend together. And I believe our record at that point was 1-1. Like, we have both beaten each other in tournament settings. And now fast forward like 7-8 years, now I get to play him again. And it was funny because I was explaining to him, like, well, he came up to me and he was like, "Oh, it's nice to see you, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, well, actually, I was at the 2023 Go Congress, which you were at. And he would not believe me that I was at the Kent Go Congress that my club ran. He was like, "No, you weren't there. I would have saw you." I was like, "No, I was there," which was pretty funny. But without further ado, let's get into this game. And you'll notice something. You'll notice something about my opponent is he isn't very up to date with the AI stuff, and I think that's not laziness or anything. That's just kind of personal preference. But you'll see he plays a very, if you think about back to 2015, around that time, definitely before AIs, like the moment before AIs took over, that's kind of how he plays. So we'll see that. So we get the high pincer, and when they play high, they are more likely going to push and cut, which I know some variations to this Joseki, this one, like this, but I don't feel confident enough to do it in a high pressure situation like a tournament game. And so in the game, I decided to play here, which I actually had seen a professional game on Fox between 2 top Chinese professionals. One of them played this. And so, especially when you're playing against black, since they can kind of control what happens in the opening, you don't want to do things that they might be accustomed to. And so nowadays, when you see this kind of push and cut all the time, in my head, okay, black probably knows this pretty well. So I was like, okay, I'll do something that maybe black doesn't know as well. So I went here. And normally you will just extend here or kick, and depending on how white answers, whether white just stands up or plays some sort of diagonal, you're going to extend. And this is normal. This is normal. What black does, not that it's necessarily bad, but if we look at this result, so black attaches Hane, black pulls back and fix. This fixes, you need to fix this Hane here, otherwise you get cut. And you could just pull back, but the shape after this is not that great for white. So by playing here, we'll fix this weakness, because even if black cuts, black needs to fix somehow. Needs to fix somehow here. And yeah, so black simply just cuts. Then I can extend, and black Ataris, and then I can pincer on the left. And we can see this result is probably pretty good for white. White stones are a little more efficient than blacks are. And remember, black started by pincering, which is a attacking variation. And we can see white has kind of dodged any severe attack black may have been trying. So black extends, which black kind of has to now, because there's a weakness at G15, or F15, I mean. Obviously, there's this ladder here. And so if black goes elsewhere, not that white would use it directly, but white has forcing moves like here. Yeah, mainly this one. And so if black has to answer like this, you can see black is very inefficient up top. So that's why black kind of has to transition to the top and play a move on this side, which you normally wouldn't want to. You would want to try to expand on a large scale. But again, we'll even let black get this move. With that weakness there, if I can just like play here, even if black caps, you can see there's a lot of weaknesses in black shape here. So yeah, black just pulls back. And here there's two options here. This is the move I played in the game, which this move, by the way, unless your group is dying, this is one of those, this is never a bad move. If you can just play this move, you're going to be fine. The other move white might consider playing is this one, because as we see, when white goes here to fix the lower right, black plays here, and this starts to activate the D12 stone. So that's why playing here would keep this D12 stone more at bay. It's less of a problem for white. Even if black gets this kick, the left side is pretty secure now. But like this, it's a lot trickier for white. And there's not really a really nice move for white to fix either. Like even if you kick to try to get Sente, there's clearly still a weakness at C10. So I simply just went down. But it's hard. It's a hard choice. The other way white could play is not care about the left side, maybe Atari here. If black takes, then play something on the right side or the upper side, upper right. And so saying, okay, black, even if you do save, I'll just let you connect. And yeah, I'm still okay here. But I didn't mind going down because this creates Aji in the lower left of maybe moves like C5, yeah, C5, C6. This stone is helping me connect back to my left side. So that's why I didn't mind playing down. But yeah, here we can see once I've surrounded C12, now black pushes. Now black pushes. So this is really good timing. And honestly, the reason why you wouldn't want to Atari here is because it forces black to capture. Right? And as I was saying, there is Aji of this kind of move. But once black plays L16, there's really not that kind of Aji anymore. Like, I'm not thinking of invading the top now. So at this stage, once black has committed with L16, I should just Atari now. Force black to take, and then play elsewhere. So this is really good order of moves for black. Now that I'm over-concentrated on the right side, now black pushes here. So I have to extend. And then black splits the right side. And here you can really see black's, again, I'm biting my tongue to say old school, but I guess like 2015 to like 2017, 18 is like 10 to 8 years ago at this point, which is kind of old, right? It's 10 years old. It's a decade old now. But the kind of old style here of just splitting the side, leaving an extension for your stone either way. Nowadays, you would definitely see more direct approaches, like maybe the slide, maybe shoulder hit, something like this. The reason why this is less common now is while it's true, you can get an extension with two stones either way, or two space extension, I mean. you're allowing your opponent to pick which one you get. So for example, white could pick, I want the corner, which is what I do. And maybe black wants to take the corner instead. So it's more, and nowadays, take what you want. If you want the corner, just take the corner somehow. As opposed to allowing your opponent to pick for you. So I did go here. Again, I was expecting extend and then play down. And again, this game is pretty even. White probably has a slight lead, if by anything, just by Comey. But yeah, it's a very close game. But black decides to not extend and just invades the corner. And his logic was, after the game he told me, because I was surprised by this, was the corner is bigger than the side, which is true. But after this exchange here, and I get to extend, this stone, while not dead by any means, it has a lot of Aji too, but now it doesn't have a base. So if black does choose to help R9, there's good luck. There's no base there, so there is still Aji in the lower right, but the outside is definitely very weak. And so he's like, well, I wanted the corner and to help the side. So what does that mean? That is when you can attach. So for example, here black can attach like this. If white, let's just say white stands up, then you can hane and then slide like this. And now you are playing moves towards the right side to help R9, but also getting into the corner. And the thing is, white probably doesn't want to play here. This is very over-concentrated. Yeah, and again, if white ignores, like here, white will definitely ignore. But if white ignores here, it is definitely very painful now. Even if you just fix, there's R17 into diagonal, and there's lots of problems. So if you want to do something, or if there's two places you want to play, try to do one of them in Sente, and usually that means by attaching. Attach, shoulder hit, do it in a forceful way. So, yeah. And then again, if you do study AI, you will see these kind of moves. Again, my opponent was saying he doesn't really study with AI much, so I think this kind of technique wasn't on his radar. So plays there, and again, now there's only one side of the board that's really big, right at the bottom, and so if you study with AIs, you know, like this is kind of the only move. But black plays here, which is a very strange spacing. It's a very strange spacing. And in my mind, if you look here, if you look from the 10th line down, so the bottom half of the board, it is a very, especially here, it is a almost perfectly symmetrical position where we have knights move, large knights, and then some stones on the side here. Now the difference is this stone is a lot weaker than these white stones. So in my mind, I'm stronger here locally. So to keep with the symmetry, I got ahead of myself. I shoulder hit first, planning to invade, because these moves, again, I'm not planning on invading up top, so I can play these kind of shoulder hits, giving black the top, because I don't want the top. So these moves black's playing, black's not building the top with these last two moves. Whereas this one space jump I've now made will help when I jump in. And so now you can see we have a very symmetrical position, but I have a strong position in the left side here, and black does not. I have a strong position on both sides. So this L3 stone in my head was weaker than my J3 stone. Now, going back, or thinking back, I think I should just connect back. I think this makes a simpler game for me, as often does with my games. They're very rarely ever simple. And in this case, I think simple would have been a lot better. This starts to connect back with my one space jump. And the thing is, I can always invade the bottom. And if black fixes the bottom, if black fixes like this would be way too small. But if black fixes like this, as I was saying earlier, there's Aji in this lower left. So it's not even black gets the entire bottom. And again, I can even play shoulder hits to reduce still. So yeah, I come in though. This isn't bad. This is not bad at all. Just I wish I had played a more simpler way. This is still definitely possible and definitely good for white. Black shoulder hits, and I shoulder hit back. And the problem for black is even if you get a bunch of thick moves here, there's still Aji in the lower left. So yeah, black doesn't want to push here because then I can descend. So black doesn't want to push because I can descend here. Black doesn't want to push here because I can extend here. So black just jumps, which makes sense. And here I should just go down. In the game, I was worried about getting sealed in, but one, this is clearly not getting sealed in, and two, if I'm just alive on the bottom, where's black's points here? And if black doesn't have points, black probably has thickness. But again, black's outside is very flimsy, and there's nothing even for black to attack. So this game so far, or at least the next bit of this game, is me. It looks like I'm playing from behind when I don't have to play from behind. A lot of the times the onus is on black to make up Comey. So black is the one who has to fight and attack and do all that stuff. But in this game, I was the one attacking, trying to... It's like I'm desperate to try to make up a deficit that I don't have. So if I just do this and we get this kind of position, it's a very easy game for white. Black's only territory is the top, because again, the lower left is open, and I have points in the left side, the upper right. This isn't points yet, but it's very close to being points. So it's a very simple way of playing. I needed to simplify this game. When I just jump, black stands up, and I play there, and black pushes. And Hane. And double Hane. Again, I'm trying to... You can see I'm kind of going all out to try to attack here. So extend. Again, I just fix. Don't leave any Aji. It's not like... Although it's not like that Aji will come back to bite me, right? Right? No, yeah, I should just connect. I don't need to go all out. Black has to connect. And if I just do something, even if I just descend now still, it's okay. It's okay. So I extend because I wanted to play attachment. This is to see how black will play. And so you can see I've created Aji of being able to surround this C7 stone. But then I play here. So this was my plan all along. And again, if I just go here, there's no Aji of getting separated. There's no Aji. If I play here, black attaches, extend up, black jumps, and I jump. So again, I'm really trying to attack here. Black Ataris, though, and pushes. And again here, if I just block, yeah, black can Atari like this. And black will be able to get some sort of squeeze. Yeah, this is what black wants. But even if black gets this kind of squeeze, it's not the end of the world. Although it is very painful. But that's what black is looking for. So again, if I just go here, black jumps and then fix. Again, this can't be bad for white. Black's not connected yet. Black is still weak on the bottom. Black hasn't surrounded this one space jump up top. Like, I needed to play simply. But I'm like, okay, let's go. Black, you're not alive. Let me attack you. But then black pushes and cuts. And so I have to play here. Yeah, this is what I was reading, so this is all fine. And again here, I think I'm so soft here as well. I can just Hane here. Yeah. So if black cuts, I can just, like, turn here. And black doesn't have the ladder. And black's very limited on liberties as well. That is another key issue here. This would be very complicated, though, which is why I was leaning not towards this. So I was okay with just jumping, but this was a big reduction. And then black peeps and pushes. And you could start to see now I'm starting to have problems in my shape here. So I extend. Black pushes here. Now this is where, this is what I had in my Kifu, because I always record my games while I'm playing, just because if I have it in front of me, the game that is, aka I'm playing the game, I may as well just do it now. But this is where this is clearly the better move, but this is what I had marked down. So it'll be the same thing regardless, but the game position, I mean. Because if black went here, there's no reason for me not to just connect here, which is why I'm leaning towards black going here. Because it just makes more sense that way. But regardless, black goes here, and I connect these 3 stones. So the idea here should be just let black have those stones. Just let black have those stones. Yeah, you don't even need to answer this last move. Now, what's cool is black can cut first. And now black's actually already captured. Or black has to answer now. So I guess it doesn't... I guess I miscounted liberties here. But yeah, whether black connects first or not... Because the thing is, this move is not Sente. Even if I take, though, this is a very... all black has captured are these 3 stones. And I've surrounded the right side and the lower left. So this would still be okay for white. So it begs the question, why do I connect here? And now black cuts this way. And the problem with this is... The thing is, black was actually... there's potential for black to fight here. Yeah, black could fight here. If I push here, black can turn and then play here. And yeah, it's very risky for white. Yeah. So in the game, or if anything, black should cut this side first because I can't play this way. When black cuts here first and cuts and then connects, you can see how good my shape is right here, right? This is so nice. But yeah, I could have given up 3 stones, but now I'm giving up 7 stones for seemingly no reason. So yeah, that was an interesting way of me to play. But yeah, if black cuts this way first, again, I can't save here because then this gets captured. So I have to fix by like going, I don't even know, here maybe. And now the shape here, it's like black had gone here basically, which that throw-in doesn't help black. It just gives white a point. So yeah. Both sides played pretty strangely here. But yeah, if you just go back, I had so many chances to just play simply. Just connect here, just descend here. So many chances. Play this one so my shape's better. Yeah, just extend here. So many chances to just simplify, but I played the way that was the most aggressive, and guess what? I lost the most stones that way. Who would have known that would happen, right? So black does capture there. Now, surprisingly enough, white is still in a good position here. White is still leading. Not as much as it could have been, but white is still okay here. So I turn here next, which is big. Which is big because if I do something else, black doesn't have to just push here. Black can peep. And if I have to connect, you can see black capturing those 2 is actually quite big. So why I felt I should turn. But then black plays here. And this move is very annoying. Because normally, if in a perfect world, you can just play here and descend. But the problem is, this is where R9 starts to become a problem, and the fact that there's an opening at N8. So it's a question of, okay, if I'm trying to kill black in the corner, which I would like to, how do I prevent Aji of R9 and connecting back? So this is actually the first time, because usually I play pretty quickly, especially in the opening. Now, clearly I should have spent more time in the fighting, but that's neither here nor there. This is where I spent a long time, because I really wanted to try to kill this. because I have so many stones nearby, but the problem is so does black. And so I ended up after like 2 minutes of just haneing here and black hanes. And again, I was thinking, okay, I would like to be able to Atari and maybe, oh, I don't know, descend. Just I was thinking of a bunch of things, but I just couldn't. I couldn't see a way of black not using this Aji or this Aji to connect back or live. So I just surrounded like this. But here's where black, and black explained this to me after the game, and it makes a lot of sense, where black actually leaves the 2 play here, which is another huge move. This is so big. So why didn't black continue in the lower right? So black's idea was, let's say I had gone here, right? The idea is now when black goes here, now I can try to attack everything. Because now this opening is not there anymore for black. Black can't connect back to the center. So if black turns, we'll just play something very simply like this. When I descend, I can connect either way. And we can see this stone at 07 is in the perfect spot to not let black connect to any of his stones. So that's the idea with this, or that's where this move is helpful. So what black is thinking is, okay, I will play this now while this opening exists. So that now when I go elsewhere and then you go here, now I can always still live. Because you wouldn't play the same way if, as we just showed, if you had already played 07. So before you have 07, I'm going to play in this corner now. So it makes a lot of sense, actually, to play that and then leave it. And then I slide here, which is big, but yeah, it is worth it just to kill this corner. It is so big. So this is big, though. Black lives, though. Attached is attachment. This is a nice move. Basically, this move is Sente in the corner, but so is this move to kill the corner, or I think it's at least Ko. So black has to descend and then kick. But yeah, so now we're going into endgame. Here's probably the last major point of contention in this game, is this attachment here, and then extend, and then black covers, and then Hane. And this is a really nice example of order of moves. And I'll show you what happens in the game first, and then maybe you can see why the order of moves here was important. So when black cuts here, I connected. Black cuts, and then goes back and captures the 2. So all this seems pretty standard, but black should cut here first, because if I have to, the thing is, if I try to save these 2, black will be able to capture the 4 stones in the corner, which is too big. So I have to fix still. Remember, I can't even sacrifice because of this cut here. So I have to fix still by going here, and then black can still play here. But here's the difference. Black has not exchanged Q15 for S16, which clearly just loses black points. Black could still cut here, or in this case, even T17 might be better for Sente. So black should cut here first, because when black cuts here first, I can fix by connecting at S16. So, yeah. So black lost a little, even though black captured the 2, black lost a little bit by playing this way. And even here, black lost a little bit by not going here. Black can play the diagonal, because I can't save the 2 still. So it'll look something like this. So it's just slightly better for black. So yeah, so that's, at this point, we basically have endgame. That was big. Push. And it is pretty close. It is a pretty close game. Black plays there. Play there. But if you saw the end of my last review, I mentioned how this game was pretty dramatic, especially towards the end. And if you're looking, it's like, okay, what does that what does that mean, right? How's the end of the game dramatic? So we're just playing endgame, and maybe I've started this monologue a little too soon because we have quite a bit to go, a little still. But this is all pretty much basic endgame. Nobody's doing anything crazy or bad or anything like that. Just basic stuff. Play there, sure. And I should mention the exact order of these moves isn't 100% correct. Because at some point I lost track, or not lost track, but gave full attention to the game. Hane, Pete there, yep, back fixes. And then I play this ko here because I figured I had enough ko threats at least locally, or at least to get black to connect there. That was my idea. And then Atari. And this is probably the last main point of this game is when I take here. So black Atari here, right? So you might think, well, isn't black taking here bigger? But I'm actually looking at Aji here, where I can cut and then extend. And this just works for white. Because I'm threatening to capture these 4 stones, but if you just Atari, you can't connect here. Because these stones are still on the board, so black's very low on liberties. So if black connects, I can extend here, and again, this captures some stones. If black connects, captures some stones. If black Atari's down, I can Atari, and connect, and the same problem. Black goes here, Atari. If black goes here, Atari. So something works there. So that's basically what I'm doing here, is I can play here. If I connect, black is able to connect, and now I didn't gain that point there. So that's the whole idea. So I'm able to gain just a little extra points. But then we have this ko, and we're fighting this ko, and still fighting the ko. Ko threats there, yep. Extend, sure. Cut, yes. Cut, yep. Extend, yep. Yep, and this is all standard, and yep, that is Sente, by the way, because of Aji here. And so this is, this is where the game ends. So how does the game end, you might ask? So basically, I was trying to count this board as we were finding this code, basically. And one, I deduced that, okay, I cannot win this co-fight. Somewhere, if you look at the board, black does have less co-threats, but somewhere I messed up, and black should have more threats than white. At least, white has at least 1 more, maybe 2, but basically, I counted that I was going to lose this ko during the game somehow. And so after some thought, I resigned. And my opponent looked at me like, wait, are you sure? Is it that bad? And I was like, yeah, it's close, but I think I'm behind by like 10 points or so. And he kind of looked at me and he's like, are you sure? Okay. Like he was like, I'll take a win, whatever, you know? And even later, some other of the players in my division was looking at the game and was like, wait, you really resigned here? Are you sure? And I was explaining to them, yeah, if you compare the areas, like the top is like the left, or even the left is slightly smaller than the top, and then all I have is the right side, and black's 3 other territories are bigger. And they're kind of like, okay, I can see that. You know, we weren't gonna count the stones exactly, or like, you know, put up the whole game again and then count normally. But as it turns out, I am in fact ahead here by 5 points. In fact, I've been ahead this entire game. This entire game I've been ahead. And if I just went to counting, which I'm already this far in the game, if I just went to counting, it would have been a victory for me. But there was some weird social, I don't know, like, oh, strong players, they're supposed to, you know, resign when they know they're behind, right? And I remember I looked over to the strong players next to me, and I was like, what if I'm behind by like 10 points and they see that and they're like, oh, he didn't resign? It was literally like a social anxiety thing. I don't even know what to call it. It was peer pressure a little. It's not even peer pressure because they didn't force me to resign. I just looked at them and I was like, man, I don't want them to think I'm bad at counting. So I resigned. But it turns out, in doing so, I proved I'm bad at counting. So, yeah, and I mean, when I had time at this point. So it wasn't like I just looked at the board for 10 seconds and was like, okay, I'll resign. I spent like a minute or two trying to count. So, yeah, I guess the biggest takeaway for this game is if you're already in endgame, just count. It doesn't matter if you're 30Q or 7 Dan. Just count the game. There's no social whatever that says you have to resign or anything like that. Like just go to counting. There's nothing wrong. We're all amateurs, so there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, my opponent in the first round lost by like 50 points. So, and nobody batted an eye. Neither I didn't even bat an eye. So, yeah. So this game, even though I'm ahead by 5 points, this game was a loss. So this was my second loss of the tournament. Now, I wasn't actually too beat up over it because, again, my main goal of this tournament was to play good games, high quality games. And despite, the loss, technical loss, I did feel pretty good about this game. But yeah, add that to the books or a list of things that have never happened to me in tournaments. Resigning a game that you are winning at endgame. Like, this is a solved game at this point. Like, there's no chance for white to mess up or black to win here. So, yeah, felt pretty embarrassing. The thing was, though, nobody knew, and even I didn't know at the tournament at the time. It was one of those things when I went back and looked at the game through AI and saw that it was a white bar the entire game, I was like, that's pretty bad. So, yeah, nothing I can do now but just laugh. It is one of those things that you can just kind of laugh at now. But yeah, main thing was I was happy with the game. I think I played very well this game, and that was the main thing. So, yeah, if you have any questions about the game, please let me know in the comments section, and I'll see you all in the next video.